It was an ordinary Saturday afternoon. The sun was still high. A 34-year-old man was walking through his own backyard. He had just finished mowing the lawn. The smell of damp earth filled the air. Nothing seemed wrong. But in 5 seconds, everything would change. His heart should have stopped. His lungs should have closed. His body should have fallen lifeless to the ground. But something impossible happened. The last thing he saw before everything went dark saved his life. And what you're about to discover might be happening right now, in your yard, while you're watching this video. His name was Carlos Mendez. He lived in a quiet town in the interior of Sao Paulo. He had a wife, 2 young children, and a dog named Rex. That Saturday morning was like all the others. Breakfast with family. Children playing in the living room. The sound of the television in the background. Carlos decided to take advantage of the pleasant weather to take care of the garden. He put on old shorts, a worn t-shirt, and rubber flip-flops. He grabbed the lawn mower and went outside. The sun was strong, but a gentle breeze made everything more pleasant. He started working. The sound of the motor cut through the afternoon silence. Strip by strip, the grass became short and uniform. Carlos was focused, almost meditative. It was his moment with his thoughts. But he didn't know he was being watched. While he worked, something moved slowly among the fallen leaves near the fence. It was small, the size of a closed fist. The color was dark brown, almost black, with irregular spots that blended perfectly with the dirt and dry leaves. 8 thin, hairy legs moved with millimetric precision. In the center of the body, marks shaped like an inverted violin glowed discreetly under the light filtered through the trees. It was a brown recluse spider, scientifically known as Loxosceles. One of the most venomous creatures inhabiting Brazilian homes and gardens. And it was in hunting territory. The brown recluse is not aggressive by nature. It prefers darkness, forgotten corners, piles of old wood and debris. It rarely attacks humans intentionally. But when it feels threatened, when someone invades its space without meaning to, when a hand or foot gets too close, it reacts. And its bite carries necrotic venom. A venom that dissolves tissue. That causes deep and painful wounds. That can lead to widespread infections. In rare cases, it can cause kidney failure and death. And Carlos was about to step on it. He took another step back, adjusting the angle of the lawn mower. His right foot, bare inside the flip-flop, dangerously approached the foliage where the spider was hiding. The sudden movement startled the creature. In a fraction of a second, it prepared to attack. The chelicerae opened. The fangs positioned themselves. The venom accumulated in the glands. Carlos saw nothing. Felt nothing. Just continued his movement. But then something extraordinary happened. Rex, the family dog, was lying on the porch watching his owner work. He was a mixed-breed tan dog, one of those that seemed to have a sixth sense for danger. Suddenly, Rex raised his ears. His snout trembled. Something was wrong. He jumped off the porch and ran toward Carlos. He barked once, loud and urgent. Carlos stopped the lawn mower and looked at the dog. Rex barked insistently at the ground, at a specific point among the leaves. Carlos took a step to the side, confused. And then he saw it. The brown recluse was there, just inches from where his foot had been a second before. Small, but deadly. Its legs moved nervously. Carlos felt a chill run up his spine. If Rex hadn't barked at that exact moment, if he had taken one more step, the story would be completely different. But the truth is that thousands of people don't have Carlos's luck. Every year, hundreds of cases of Loxosceles are registered in Brazil. Most happen inside the home. When putting on clothes that had been stored for a long time. When putting on a shoe left in the corner of the closet. When moving boxes in the garage. When cleaning a forgotten room. The brown recluse loves dark, dry places. It hides and waits. And when disturbed, it attacks. The initial bite might feel like a simple mosquito bite. Many people don't even notice at the moment. But in the following hours, the area begins to swell. Intense pain spreads. The surrounding skin turns red, then purple, then black. The tissue begins to die. It's a slow and agonizing process. And the worst part is that diagnosis often takes time. Doctors confuse it with bacterial infections. They prescribe antibiotics that don't work. Meanwhile, the venom continues acting. There's a documented case of a woman in Curitiba who almost lost her entire leg. She was cleaning the attic of her house when she felt a sting on her ankle. She thought she had scratched herself on a rusty nail. She washed the wound and forgot about it. 3 days later, the pain was unbearable. Her ankle was 3 times its normal size. The skin had a frightening purple coloration. At the hospital, doctors identified advanced necrosis. She had to undergo surgeries to remove all the dead tissue. She spent months in recovery. And almost lost her leg. All because of a spider the size of a coin. The venom of Loxosceles contains proteolytic and hemolytic enzymes. In simple language, this means it literally melts flesh and destroys blood cells. The result is an open wound that doesn't heal easily. That can get infected. That leaves deep scars. In more severe cases, the venom can reach the bloodstream and cause systemic hemolysis. The kidneys stop working properly. The person may need dialysis. May develop kidney failure. And in extreme cases, may die. All this because of a creature that most people don't even notice when they pass by it. Carlos was paralyzed for a few seconds, looking at the spider. His heart was racing. His hands were shaking. He thought about his children playing in the yard every day. He thought about his wife who loved gardening. He thought about how many times they had been so close to danger without knowing. Rex continued barking, keeping a safe distance from the creature. Carlos called his wife, asked her to keep the children inside the house. With extreme care, using a garden shovel, he captured the spider in a glass jar. He took it to the nearest health center for identification. The professionals confirmed, it really was a Loxosceles, an adult brown recluse in reproductive age. Which meant there were probably more of them in the yard. The pest control team that Carlos called found an entire nest. Dozens of spiders living under a pile of old wood in the back of the property. Would he plan to use to make a bonfire with the children on the next holiday? If he had touched that pile without protection, without knowing what was there, the consequences could have been catastrophic. Especially for the children, who have smaller bodies and are more vulnerable to the venom. And here's something you need to know right now. The brown recluse doesn't have a scary appearance like a tarantula. It's not large like a common garden spider. It's discreet, the size of a quarter. Brown or beige, with thin legs. The most distinctive characteristic is the violin-shaped design on its back, but you can only see this up close. Very close. Too close. It likes places where no one has touched for a long time. Behind pictures on the wall. Inside cardboard boxes. In piles of clothes. In stored shoes. In garages and attics. In basements and storage rooms. It can live months without food. It can survive in extreme conditions. And it might be in your house right now. But there is a way to protect yourself. First, always shake clothes and shoes before using them, especially if they've been stored. Second, use gloves when handling dark or infrequently visited places. Third, keep your house clean and organized, without accumulation of clutter. Fourth, seal cracks and holes in walls where spiders might hide. Fifth, if you're bitten and suspect it was by a brown recluse, go immediately to the hospital. Take the spider if possible, even if dead, for identification. Early treatment can prevent serious complications. The faster the antivenom serum is applied, the greater the chances of complete recovery without lasting effects. Carlos never looked at his yard the same way again. He implemented all prevention measures, made regular inspections, taught his children about the invisible dangers that can exist even in the most familiar places. And Rex got the best treats money could buy. After all, that bark had saved a life, had prevented a tragedy, had proven that sometimes animal intuition is more powerful than all our technology and knowledge. Carlos's story teaches us something profound. We live surrounded by dangers we don't see. Silent threats that share our space. Creatures that don't want to harm us, but that can cause terrible damage if the right conditions align. The natural world is neither good nor bad. It simply exists, operating under its own rules. And it's up to us to learn these rules, respect these limits, protect those we love with knowledge and caution. How many times have you put your hand in a dark place without looking? How many times have you put on clothes that have been in the closet for months without shaking them? How many times have your children played in forgotten corners of the house or yard? Each of those times was a gamble. A game of Russian roulette with odds you didn't know. Because danger doesn't announce its arrival. It waits, quiet and patient, until the right moment comes. If you've made it this far, it means you understand the importance of this information. Share this knowledge. Tell your family. Alert your neighbors. Teach your children. Because the next life saved could be yours. Or someone you love. And remember, sometimes the difference between tragedy and salvation is just 1 second. One bark. One look in the right place. One decision to learn about the hidden dangers that surround us. Carlos was lucky. Rex was there. But you can have something even better, knowledge. And knowledge, unlike luck, doesn't depend on chance. It depends on you choosing to be prepared. Choosing to be alert. Choosing to protect what is precious. And it all starts now, in this moment, with the decision to never again underestimate the small dangers that hide in the shadows of everyday life.